me to enjoy this moment. It was 4-1! Thanks, Linus. You made it just in time. Welcome to the best day of the week. It's Thursday, which means it's time for another edition of Steve's Dang It's, presented by Advil, where we take a look at the biggest dang it's from around the NHL, and it's playoff time. Consequences. They're big. Like, for example, when you're on the best regular season team of all time and you're the runaway favorite to win the Vezina Trophy and you have an opportunity to finish off your playoff opponent at home and you do this in overtime.
Marchand gets the puck, tries to feed it back, but it's out of the reach of Zaka and all the way down the ice. Ullmark out of his net, gives it away in the corner, point in front, loose puck, they score! Matthew Tkachuk! There will be a Game 6. Friday in Florida, as Tkachuk wins it 6:05 into overtime. And the Panthers take it 4-3.
Now, the Bruins change defenseman. Puck's rolling right along the dasher. And you can see the backhand. Shorty, how many times this season have I told you,
Keep it in front of you.
keep it in front of you? And look at this backhand play. He's such a strong puck handler. Why he's trying that little feather backhand is beyond me. And it ends up costing.
3 assists for Carter Verhaeghe. Tkachuk, the winner. His third of the series at 6:05. He had a goal and an assist in this game. And the Panthers, against the #1 team in the NHL, get an overtime win in game number 5.
Oh, and it's Matthew Tkachuk, too! Linus, buddy, I don't think I've told him this at any point this season. He's been pretty good, but there's a first time for everything. If you're a goaltender, tend the goal! That turnover results in a goal for Florida and an opportunity for the Panthers to win Game 6 at home and force 7. I mean, at minimum, it prevents the Bruins from winning in 5 and getting a little bit of that extra rest. Ooh. That's a dang it. Now, if it makes you feel any better, Linus Ullmark was not the only goalie to do that yesterday. Philip Grubauer up the boards to the other team.
Bob Wischusen, Brian Boucher, Leah Hextall here in Denver at Ball Arena. Game number 5. Rantanen throws one towards the net. Caroms in! Score! Off the glove of Grubauer, Rantanen does it again! And we're tied at 1.
By Philip Grubauer. He doesn't get enough on it, and the turnover goes to Mikko Rantanen, and Rantanen quickly gets it to the net. And it's a fortuitous bounce. Off the glove of Grubauer, off the skate of McKinnon. This will count. It is not a kicking motion. But what seemed to be all Seattle.
Dude, the Avalanche do not have Landeskog. They do not have Nichushkin. And for one game, they do not have Cale Makar. You cannot fumble this bag, Philip! A lot of times where the goalie goes up the boards or something, these if you're a goaltender, tend the goal situations, the defense does wear some of it. This one just seems to be a goalie flubbing a puck. But I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds that someone wearing like 2 mini microwaves on their hands with a stick shaped like a canoe paddle drawn by the memory of an alien wearing 90 pounds of equipment, what are the odds you wouldn't be able to play the puck properly? What are the odds it would take a funny hop on you? What are the odds if you're a goaltender, just tend the goal? Now, luckily for Seattle, they didn't fumble the bag. They ended up winning this game, but Philip Grubauer, that's a dang it. For our next dang it, turns out that not only goaltenders make these mistakes. Here's Alexander Romanov.
Had a player right in front of him kind of pushed himself out past the crease and got a pad on that. Bad turnover here.
2-on-1. And for the turnover by Romanov, Aho scores! Record 20 postseason goals for Sebastian Aho in his Hurricanes career.
And he gets a beautiful backhand pass right on the tape.
It makes no mistake there, Jonesy, but you talked about it. Look at that beautiful finish there. But it was because Carolina, they just retreated in the neutral zone, right? There was nothing there in that.
That is the worst kind of turnover. I mean, you can turn it over in your own zone and they have a clear shot at it, but at least that happens fast. At least it's blink and it's over. When you get caught at the offensive blue line, you have the entire time they're skating it down the ice to fill with dread. And it turns out that dread was not unfounded because the Hurricanes bury the 2-on-1. Romanov, buddy. That's a dang it. This Islanders Hurricane series is full of dang it's, and both teams are getting it. Here's Sebastian Aho assisting on a goal for the New York Islanders, and that would be normal if it was the Sebastian Aho on the New York Islanders. Here's Sebastian Aho, not of the New York Islanders, assisting with his face.
Why not? Just let it fly.
And that's something Carolina, Islanders have not challenged the points.
Engvall shot. And it goes in with chaos surrounding the Carolina net.
Coming in from the point, and then the Islanders, there it is, a shot up high. Oh, man, off of Aho's face, but then Brock Nelson corrals that puck. It's a knuckleball up high, and then as it drops down, it does get to, it gets to the ice. He hits it out of the air, not a high stick. Legal goal. You know, this is something that I think that the Islanders have done a better job of in this game versus games 1 through 4, is they've gone to the front of the net. They've gone to that top of that blue paint. They've gotten a little bit in Antti Ranta's kitchen and messed with him. Antti Ranta's made some good saves in the first period, but look at all that traffic in front of him, taking his eyes away. He can't see the puck. Even though it's up high, he doesn't know where it is at that moment because of Kyle Palmieri.
This is the Advil integration. He should have an Advil. That's an Advil integration. I'm right in the face! He's barely even hit the ice when the puck is in the back of the net. That is just a rough shift at the office. That's a dang it. This next dang it is maybe the most mystifying play of the playoffs for me. Here's Martin Necas getting hit into the Islanders bench and then hitting the Islanders and facing no repercussions whatsoever.
This contact, up and over. Necas doesn't like the way he's being talked to down on the bench and punches one of the Islander players. Gets away with it. Should have been a penalty.
It definitely should have been. They all look.
What? Now this is something it's a huge problem for me. At least when it comes to the rule book. Because in most other sports, it would be rare to get hit into the other team's bench. Basketball, obviously, most likely to fall into the other team's bench. It's right there. Soccer, you'd have to go on quite the run. Baseball, you might hit a ball there, but you're not physically going into the dugout. And then there's hockey, where you can be hit up over the boards and into the bench. Now, there are little things that the guys on the bench always do, and sometimes it's a little tug at the jersey, or they'll steal your stick, or they'll flick you in the helmet, or something like that. But you never see a guy get hit into the boards and then the whole team just starts wailing on the dude, because that's not allowed. You can't do that. So why on earth is Martin Necas allowed to throw a punch at the Islanders while on their bench? Like, dude, I am, for the sake of the comment section, not gonna name names. But think of the team that you cheer for. Now think of the least popular player on that team to the other fan bases, right? In other words, your biggest pest. Imagine them doing that and not being placed under arrest. Perhaps not under arrest, but suspended, fined, anything. This was just cool. Like, you're allowed. You're just allowed. They had the opportunity to do something and they didn't, so it's allowed. When they have the opportunity to punish something and they don't, it's allowed. So if you get hit into the bench, you should just throw a punch because it's allowed, I guess. I'm not even going to give Necas or the Islanders or anybody a dang it. How doesn't the league call that? What's wrong with you? Reminder that if you leave the bench to involve yourself in a fight, it's a 10-game suspension automatically. Except for the few times they've reviewed it and taken it back because they didn't feel like it and thought it was too much and the rules don't matter. But if you enter the bench and start throwing punches, that's cool. And if Necas was being messed with, fine those guys too! Be a league! Oh, it's a dang it. It's a dang it. It's just a widespread dang it fest. For our next dang it, somehow still on this Hurricanes Islanders series, Antti Ranta does something that I can't believe doesn't happen all the time. Did you miss it? I didn't want to give you the explicit instructions to look at his bum, but you have to. His pants ripped, making a split save. This just shows you the goaltender, like, equipment technology. That should happen every day. I know I've mentioned this before, but I used to work at the Toronto Zoo. One day at the beginning of my shift, I was walking out of a door. That door handle somehow went into my back pocket as I was walking away, tore my pants, all the way down, beginning of my shift. I wasn't even doing splits. This person constantly puts the butt of his pants at risk of splitting, and you never see it happen. This is the first time I've ever seen it happen. That's a dang it. Now, finally getting away from the Islanders Hurricane series, this next dang it was tweeted at me 1,000 times like I wouldn't know to put it in dang it's immediately. I mean, overtime giveaways are the biggest. We saw that with Ullmark at the beginning. This one kind of makes me feel bad, though. Here's Samberg of the Winnipeg Jets just flubbing it. It deflects and it's flubbed.
3 shots for Vegas as Dylan Ellis up to the puck. He's hit by Howden. Samberg put it off his skate. Barbashev in front, scores! Michael Amadio puts it home, and Vegas mutes the white noise in Winnipeg with an overtime win in Game 3.
2 penalty kills that they get. And then Samberg goes back to the back of the net right here. And as he goes to throw it out around the wall, he knocks it off the leg of Barbashev. Instead of going up the wall, he comes inside trying to make the pass tape to tape. It rolls to Amadio. He fires it instantly and beats Hellebuck. And early in overtime too, this one goes straight up and over the glove. And the Vegas Golden Knights dodge a huge bullet here on a turnover, and Amadio buries it, and they will take a 2-1 lead in this series that I still believe is far from over.
Look at him, though. Like, I would say that's a dang it, but, like, look at him, though. Look at his reaction. This is gonna be a dang it, isn't it? You don't even have to say it, Steven! Well, all right. On to the next one. Now, this next one goes in favor of the Winnipeg Jets. Follow the bouncing puck somehow, anyhow. I don't know how.
Jets win the draw. Keon sets it up. Laid it over to Wheeler with a shot. Francois the save. Batted out in the air, and it skips around in the net. They score!
Bruce Cassidy is going to have a look at this. Here's the shot that's going to come from Wheeler, and then everyone is smacking around at it. The question is, does Niederreiter push Brossois? And that's what Bruce Cassidy is going to be looking at as this thing converges on the net. Is that a push right there with the right arm? And eventually it's Pietrangelo. It looks like he...
Okay, I like to follow trends, and I feel like because of Hat Picks and Dang It's, I'm able to pick up on them. The trend of this year's playoffs, everyone's talking about officiating. Everyone's very upset about the officiating. That's not the trend. The trend is misbehaving airborne pucks. I feel like I bring this sketch up all the time, but is this not Homer chasing after the barbecue pig? It's still good, and bats it, and it's in the net, and oh my. It's never good when you don't know where the thing is, and then the goal light comes on, and then you know exactly where it is, but you don't want to look at where it is. If the Jets are gonna stay alive in this series, they could use a few more of those. That's a dang it for Vegas. For our next dang it, the Edmonton Oilers get scored on, and they shouldn't have been.
Looking, Byfield, Skinner! Might be a game saver there. Ekholm batting at that puck. Couldn't get it too far. Velarde still on it. Pass in front, they score!
Now, Edmonton is not leaving the bench here. I think they might be challenging for offside potentially because they're not going down the tunnel. So something here, or else they feel there was a missed call or a missed stoppage somewhere in the offensive zone because they have not left the bench. Exactly what they're looking for, but McDavid here, if you watch, he thinks that puck went up and touched the mesh. So they're looking to see if that puck was up over the glass. He felt it was. He pointed it up right away. Here it is, finally. That's a tough one.
After video review, the call on the ice stands.
So here's exactly how it was phrased in the email. It's 2 sentences, actually, from producer Nick. Was it a high stick on Kings' overtime winner? At least a dang it for a 6-minute review, but what are your thoughts here? Well, here, let me help you out with the first one there, producer Nick. Was it a high stick on Kings' overtime winner? Yes. Flatly yes. How could you argue no? So there's the dead-on view that they show of it, and even that one, I'm like, I think it touched the stick, but I don't know. And that's not good enough. It's not good enough. If you're not sure that it was a high stick and the play should have been blown dead, yes, 20 seconds prior, but it should have been blown dead. If you're not sure at all, it's a good goal. But then there's this view from behind the net and up in sort of the stands. Look at it. Like look at it. It very clearly touches Velarde's stick. Under the new rules, that's a high stick and it's reviewable and that's no goal. I don't understand how this is a goal. Now you can talk about the spirit of the rule, and if something goes uncalled 20 seconds prior to a goal, should the goal then be called back? There's a debate amongst hockey fans and hockey players. There's a debate. But if there's offside 20 seconds prior to a goal, they call it back. Again, we can get into the discussion of should it be called back, because 20 seconds, that's enough time to recover or whatever. Or even the idea of c'est la vie. The idea of sometimes in sports, things are going to get missed. Hockey is such a high event sport, things are going to get missed and you just sort of live with it. I understand that. But if there's an offside play, 20 seconds passed, and they review it and it's offside, no goal. This is a high stick. It's just a high stick. It's a high stick. It's a high stick. And they don't call it, and it's a goal. And as a result, that dang it gives the Kings a playoff win in overtime. Now, sticking with the Kings-Oilers series, going to another overtime game decided by a dang it, but not quite in the same way. The LA Kings have a 3-0 lead in this game. They blow it.
Draisaitl, boost bomb! Korpisalo again, foiling that 91 miles per hour attempt. Bouchard, McDavid, cross ice, Draisaitl, Bouchard tees one up, scores! It's ahead, around the wall it goes, off of Kopitar's stick. Diving to keep the play alive was Draisaitl. Bouncing puck, Doughty protects, stolen, in front and they score! Leon Draisaitl has the Oilers within one! Draisaitl quickly tracked by Kopitar. Bouchard from the blue line. To Nugent-Hopkins, back to Bouchard. Nugent-Hopkins down low, one-timer, and Draisaitl scores! This game is tied at 3!
But then the Kings retake the 4-3 lead. They blow it!
McDavid, Kane, Draisaitl, the forwards for the Oilers. McDavid moves in. Kane shoots. Scores!
Be too aggressive on him here once he gets this puck. That come out of the zone. And you can see it's Kopitar that's kind of caught in the middle. Do I challenge? Do I be aggressive on this loose puck? And the quick little backhand play by McDavid to Kane, and he zips it home far side.
And then there's overtime.
Long-range pass. Zach Hyman moving in. Rister shoots. Scores! Zach Hyman! The overtime hero! And the Edmonton Oilers have made it a best of 3.
They blow it. The Edmonton Oilers storm all the way back, more than once even, in this game to get the OT winner and the huge playoff dub. And now, they have an opportunity to do something special here, man. I called this series going 7 double overtime from the jump. We'll see if that's the case. But for the Kings, 3-0. That's a dang it. And finally, all the wacky hijinks that have been going on in the Tampa versus Toronto series. I almost said Tampa versus Lightning. We're keeping it. First, game 2. The brouhaha starts because the Lightning are losing, and that happens sometimes when a game is getting out of hand. Didn't happen in game 1, and we said, well, that's strange, and then sure enough in game 2, it very happens. Everyone is in the Lightning box, and Yellow Hoodie Guy had a problem with that. Look at Yellow Hoodie Guy going toe-to-toe with the Lightning. Easily my favorite part about all this is just madness going on at the penalty box, and then the camera goes to John Cooper. Just look at him. Look at his face. Like, just the face of mild interest in a potential altercation between one of your players and a fan. Anyway, later on, you don't see Yellow Hoodie Guy anymore, and I'm pretty sure he got kicked out because I'm pretty sure you can't do that. That's dang it. Then there's game 3. Oof, Maroon, game 3. Morgan Riley and Braden Point get into a puck battle, and Point goes into the boards ugly, ugly, ugly. It's so bad. And he tries to get up, and he can't. It's so bad. Now, here's the good news. Somehow, Braden Point came back into this game and played the next game. Like, nothing happened. Morgan Riley is initially given a 5-minute major, and I don't have a problem with that, because I actually think this is a great addition to NHL officiating. They should have the option to review plays, like high-stakes plays, like a 5-minute major in the third period of a playoff game, to make sure they got it right. Now, there are silly loopholes in the rule, like, for example, you can review a 4-minute double minor for high sticking, and you can reduce it to 2 minutes, but you can't get rid of it entirely if you were wrong. Like, we were gonna give you 4 minutes, but it turns out I was wrong, so we're gonna give you 2, and then it's like, why am I getting 2? And you go, because. It's not perfect. Regardless, a brouhaha breaks out completely understandably. Riley going at it with Kucherov, and O'Reilly going at it with Kucherov. Kucherov had no time if your name even contained Riley. And then Steven Stamkos and Austin Matthews get into a quote-unquote fight, the first ever fight between two 60-goal scorers. Now, here's what I want to point out. Both of these guys got 5 minutes for fighting, and that's it. Look at the lead up to it.
Play as they get tied up on each other. Oh, man, they're right into the board. Sergachev goes after. And now everybody's grabbing, but Kucherov on top of Morgan Riley as that push about, 3 feet away catapults him in, and there was no hesitation there by Kucherov. And there's Point. Dene dropped him. Austin Matthews. And Stamkos hit the deck.
There are a few things that I want to point out, and producer Nick, you can just have fun with this. I want to give you a brief, crystal clear, accurate description of the two combatants in this fight. First, you have Steven Stamkos, who has one glove off, no helmet, and he is screaming at the officials. The other guy is Austin Matthews, helmet on, both gloves on, facing away from the fight, 3 hockey sticks in his hand. The dude is literally just cleaning up. He's a janitor right now. Everyone involved took a look at this and said, these are the same. 5 minutes for fighting each. Then there's the chirping at the benches after, and the Lightning just going ballistic, and Luke Schenn decided to be the designated dartboard for the Leafs. Schenn calls someone irrelevant, and I don't know who he called irrelevant, but Brandon Hagel, oh, he was cheesed. Producer Nick, you might want to censor.
On the aftermath of that hard collision into the boards. Well, it's game on now, isn't it? I mean, talk about a series just changing its temperature immediately. Maroon, Killorn, Janot, and Luke Schenn down there leading the Leaf debate team. You worry about the health.
Now, we've all seen Luke Schenn fight, and we know his fists are not friendly. But as someone who has met and interviewed Luke Schenn several times, I can't imagine him chirping. Like, that whole Saskatchewan farm boy stereotype, like, it's outrageously true with him. I'm just imagining everyone just shouting the most, like, egregiously mean stuff at him. And his response I could just see is, yeah, well, I don't think so. Because he doesn't think so. I'm just kind of a nice guy, and why would you say that about me? Absolute pandemonium in game 3, and that wasn't even the wildest game of the series so far. That's a dang it. Now, for our last dang it, and it was 4-1 heading into the third period of game 4 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning, and then Brandon Hagel had this to say.
We're pretty much doing the same thing. I'm not surprised the score is 4-1 going into the third period. I mean, we thought last game we played good enough to win that game. Knew we had to just step it up a little bit more, and we did that, and results kind of going our way.
And then what happened?
Talking about that protection in the corner. That was a good play. Here comes Nylander with a look here. It comes across. Matthews scores! And they get one back. It's 4-2. An issue here as Tampa's been able to stop them at the line and not allow the easy setup.
In here, comes back. Giordano to Nylander, in front, scores! Austin Matthews! It's a one-goal game! Goals come 2 minutes, 45 seconds apart. Tavares wins the draw. O'Reilly out there along with him, and Marner. It's Morgan Riley shooting, scores! The game is tied! Just played over 13 minutes in regulation time. He should be fresh. Here comes Kerfoot. Nylander took a high stick. Now he's got the puck. Nice, Parks in the slot. Giordano sends it. It's in! Tipped in front! And the Leafs have won it! Alex Kerfoot, your hero tonight!
Oh, how the turntables! Now I know what you're gonna yell and scream at me. Steve, the job is not done. And at the time I am shooting this video, the job is not done. The Leafs have a 3-1 series lead. You need 4 wins to win a series. We know that painfully. But I'm sorry, I've had it was 4-1 verbatim. It was 4-1. Tweeted at me, sent in the comment section, emailed, all sorts of things. Someone has said it to me at some point every day for the last 10 years. Allow me to enjoy this moment. It was 4-1! And I understand why people have said that to me for the last 10 years. It's awesome being on the other end of it. Because no one knows better than me, and no one knows better than the Leafs and Leaf fans, that being on the wrong end of a 4-1 collapse, well, that's a dang it. So, that is it for this edition of Steve's Dang It's, presented by Advil. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Punching someone in the bench when you get knocked in there is allowed, and high sticking in the offensive zone is allowed, and what else did we find out is allowed? And clicking like and subscribe is allowed.